Study Island Lesson, Laboratory Tools and Measurement. Lab tools. Laboratory tools are used to make measurements and gather data in the lab. Knowing how to use these tools is important for making precise and accurate measurements. Common laboratory tools include a triple beam balance, graduated cylinder, test tube, beaker, measuring cup, ruler, spring scale, compass, microscope, binoculars, hand lens, telescope, stopwatch, and thermometer. So let's go through all of them. Triple beam balance. A triple beam balance is used to measure the mass of solid objects. It has 3 beams that each measure mass to a different unit place, ones, tens, or hundreds. Units of mass include milligrams, grams, and kilograms. Graduated cylinder. A graduated cylinder is used to measure the volume of liquids in milliliters or liters. It is read by looking at the very bottom of the curve of liquid in the cylinder. This curve of liquid is called a meniscus. Test tube. A test tube is a long, narrow type of glassware in which liquids can be stored and heated. Test tubes have round bases and are stored in test tube racks or mounted on test tube stands. Beaker. A beaker is a type of glassware. It can be used to store liquids, heat liquids, and measure the volume of liquids. Beakers have broad, flat bases. Beakers usually measure liquid volumes in milliliters. A measuring cup. This one probably is familiar to you already. A measuring cup is used to measure the volume or amount of a liquid. To measure how much liquid is in a measuring cup, look at the lines in the front and see what line the top of the liquid is at. You see the picture? It's at 1. Measuring cups can measure volume in metric units such as milliliters or in U.S. system units such as ounces and cups. So this one, if you like to cook, you might have used a measuring cup in a recipe before. Ruler, meter stick, and tape measure. Rulers, meter sticks, and tape measures are used to measure length. These tools usually have 2 edges. One that measures in metric units, that's milliliters or centimeters and meters, as you can see on the top, and one that measures in U.S. system units on the bottom. We have inches and feet. A spring scale. A spring scale is used to measure the weight of an object, which is the force of gravity acting on it. A spring scale is used by attaching an object to the hook at the end of the scale. Then the weight is displayed on the tube of the scale in newtons or pounds. Spring scales can be also used to measure the force needed to move an object. A compass. A compass is a tool that detects magnetic fields. When no local fields are present, a compass will detect Earth's magnetic field. The arrow of a compass generally points north, so a person using a compass can tell which direction, north, south, east, or west, he or she is facing. So this one tells us direction. Microscope. A microscope is used to view objects that are too small to be seen with the naked eye, such as cells. Binoculars. Binoculars are used for seeing objects that are distant, but not as far away as space. A hand lens. A hand lens is used to look at objects up close. It makes objects appear larger. Telescope. A telescope is used to view objects that are very far away, such as planets and moons. A stopwatch. A stopwatch is used to measure time in seconds and minutes. Thermometer. A thermometer is used to measure temperature in either Celsius or Fahrenheit. A thermometer is read by looking at the number that is displayed at the top of the red line inside the thermometer. So if we are looking at this thermometer right here, the temperature is about 55 degrees. Measurement and change. Scientists study changes that happen over time. Some changes are very fast. A bolt of lightning happens so fast that it is hard to measure how long it takes. Some changes are very slow. Erosion makes mountains get smaller over millions of years. This change is so slow that it is hard to measure how long it takes. Some changes happen over an amount of time that can easily be measured. For example, an ice cube melting in a warm drink happens to be in a few minutes. It is easy to time how long it takes. Making measurements over time. Plants and animals change and grow over time. Living things often change faster than non-living things. We can measure how much a living thing grows over time. If you measure the height of a sapling tree today and then measure its height again 1 year from now, you'll see that it's grown taller. And then you can use subtraction to find out how much the tree has grown. If the tree is 200 centimeters tall today, and it was 150 centimeters tall a year ago, then the tree has grown 50 centimeters. We can see the difference. Measuring the passage of time. On a clock, the long hand shows the minutes. Long hand, long hand, long hand. And the shorter hand shows the hours. Each of the numbers 1 to 12 represent 5 minutes on the long hand, or 1 hour on the short hand. It takes the minute hand 60 minutes, or the 1 hour, to travel all the way around the clock one time. In the picture of the clocks above, the second clock shows 2 hours after the first. So we have 7 o'clock and then 9 o'clock. Look at where the short hands lie. Short hands at the 9, short hands at the 7. The last clock shows 1 hour after the second clock. So again, we just move the shorthand up to 10, just like that. Things you might measure with a clock include how long it takes to run around the football field and how long you slept last night, which hopefully is more than 8 hours. Okay, this is the end of me reading this for you. Your teacher should have assigned you the questions and flashcards on Study Island. Make sure you reference back to this as you are answering questions. Nobody memorized this entire article. So go back and look into the story as you are answering your questions. Take your time.